Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Would Alec Baldwin Survive in Prison? Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we post a new episode. Now, let's get started. We have an interesting hypothetical question for you. If Alec Baldwin were to be charged and convicted of involuntary manslaughter, would he survive in prison? That's a complicated question, so we did some research. We found out that the average prison sentence for involuntary manslaughter is between 1 and 10 years long. So the next question becomes, what are the odds of being attacked in prison? More importantly, what are the odds of surviving in prison? Well, for starters, 4% of inmates get sexually assaulted. That seems like a low percentage, but it's actually a very high percentage if you think about it. There are also a lot of extortion attempts in prison. Some people allege that mobster John Gotti got extorted each month for huge sums of money, and that when he refused to pay one month, they beat him up viciously. Gotti was a hardened gangster who could handle himself really well out on the streets, but they alleged that he was attacked by a number of prisoners all at the same time, and that's how they got him. Alec Baldwin has never been a tough gangster. He's a 63-year-old actor who wears makeup for a living while filming movies, so I don't think anyone in prison is going to be intimidated by him. In fact, most of the comments we see online about him tend to suggest that a lot of people don't like him for some reason. If that's also true in prison, then chances are a lot of inmates are going to try and make a name for themselves by attacking him the first chance they get. We suspect that the prison may decide to keep him in isolation, which means he would be locked up for 23 hours a day and he could only go out for an hour a day. Being in isolation is tricky because on the one hand, you want to stay safe, but on the other hand, some people start to lose their minds after a few years of isolation. I think Alec Baldwin is a strong-minded individual with lots of willpower, so he might be able to tough it out for a while. But if it goes on for much longer than that, it gets to people. The other thing some high-profile prisoners with lots of money do is they will pay someone on the inside to protect them. We've heard rumors that John Gotti had to pay $500,000 a month to stay alive in prison, and that when he refused to pay 1 month, that's when they beat him up very badly. We don't know if this is true or not because we haven't been able to confirm it. But extortion is very common in prison. Alec Baldwin does not appear to be physically strong or even in good shape, so we suspect he wouldn't last long in a prison fight. We also suspect that given his high profile, a lot of prisoners will try and sexually assault him. I think that given his money and his connections, he'll probably go for isolation or he'll pay someone for protection. One question we do have is, does the prison decide whether he stays in isolation, or does the prisoner have the option to decide whether he wants to stay in isolation or not? Everyone saw how quickly Jeffrey Epstein died in prison. Given how many people appear to dislike Alec Baldwin, you have to ask yourself, how long would he last in prison? I believe that if he uses his considerable acting skills, behaves with great modesty and humility, and doesn't get killed or raped by someone random, then he could survive for a while. Remember, in prison, just looking at someone at the wrong time and in the wrong place can get every bone in your face shattered. This is actually very common. But if Alec displays any of his arrogance or attitude or makes the mistake of behaving like he's better than everyone else in prison, then I believe he could have some serious problems. We don't wish ill will on Alec or anybody else, nor do we want him to go to jail. We wish him all the best. But prison is an ultra-violent, ultra-random, and extremely dangerous place, and it's not for the faint of heart. Most actors who play tough guys in the movies are not tough at all. In fact, when some of these actors get punched in the face in the real world, they often get knocked out like rag dolls. There's a big difference between shoving or punching a paparazzi on the street and getting into a prison fight with some other criminal who may be part of a larger gang. Alec has not been charged with any crime, and hopefully he may never be charged. But if things go in the wrong direction, our advice to him is to hire the best lawyers available and do whatever it takes to avoid going to jail. Because once you go inside, all bets are off. And the longer you're in prison, the worse the odds of survival become. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. We shall see you soon. Goodbye.